Hi learners, and welcome to this lesson on the properties of numbers. Now when we speak about the properties of numbers, we want to look at how numbers are classified, and we have a list of five classifications that best represent numbers, right? So we want to get into it quickly. What would we mean by a natural number, right? So the natural numbers, we use them as counting numbers. Now, if you're walking up a flight of stairs, how do you count the stairs? You'll step and you'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are natural numbers, right? You can call them counting numbers because they start from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, right? And these numbers can reach all the way to infinity, right? It doesn't really have an end value, and you can keep calculating or counting those numbers as high as you can possibly go. The next number is a whole number. Now, what is a whole number? Well, it's the same thing, except a whole number includes the number 0, right? So you can remember it as a whole number includes 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, all the way to infinity as well. So the only difference between the two is that one has 0 and one does not. The next examples are integers. Now, integers is any number that can be represented on a number line. So if you look at a number line, you have 0, you have 1, 2, and so on, but you'll also have -1, -2, and so on. So integers are all positive, all negative whole numbers. When we say whole numbers, I'm not just talking about positive whole numbers, but it's not a fraction, right? So it's going to be from negative infinity to positive infinity. It's all of the numbers you can count, negative and positive. The next one is a rational number. Now, you've been working with fractions for a very long time. So a rational number is any number that can be represented in the form A over B, and you must have a recurring decimal, right? And it must have a terminating decimal. So if this fraction gives you a recurring decimal, or if it gives you a terminating decimal, those values are rational, right? For example, half or a quarter, those are rational numbers. Now, an irrational number is a number that cannot be written in this form. It cannot be written as A over B. It has non-recurring and it has non-terminating. Okay? And you can say decimals. So it does not terminate, it is not recurring, right? A good example of this is pi. Though pi can be written as 22 over 7, it is neither recurring or terminating, and therefore pi becomes an irrational number. So that's just some properties of numbers. You have a book on describing properties of numbers, or whether it's a natural number, whole numbers, and finding those numbers. So based on this lesson, go ahead and complete that workbook, and I will see you in the next lesson.